Well, it's a nice morning, so I thought I'd finish off this gate. I found myself a better bolt than this little one, which will make life a bit easier. And I'm going to put in these struts into this to give it a bit more rigidity. And then I've decided I'm going to cut some featherboard. I've got some old featherboard left. The other thing I thought was that would make a really nice bird table. So I'm going to pop a nail in there, and then on the way to the chickens I'll share a bit of seed. Right, here we go. In the best traditions of allotment keepers, all this wood was from old projects or reclaimed, and I didn't have to spend a single penny. There we go, that fits nice. I've also got this piece of corner finishing, which I'm thinking I need to put on the corner of my shed because I've got a bit of a gap. I'll show you. I'm not quite sure how this is going to work out because there's a fair old gap here. I put this additional facing on the shed and it's all a bit loose here, so I'm thinking I might be able to put that on there somehow and just get a little bit of weatherproofing to this corner. See how we go. It's not the finest bit of workmanship I've ever done, but it all helps to protect it from the elements. So I think I'm done with woodwork at this end of the plot for now. So last night was really very cold indeed, and we got down to minus 1.5, which wasn't anywhere near as cold as they'd predicted, but I was glad to have these in here. I've noticed today that they're getting a little bit dry, so I think you've got to be careful once you start putting cloches over your seedlings. There's a temptation to overwater, but there's also a danger you can underwater. I think I'm going to give these a bit of a sprinkling. I know, I panicked a bit. I lost all my onions and I thought, what am I going to do? And subscribers in the comments said, well, go for some onion sets. I thought, well, I'll sow some more seed, but belts and braces. I got some onion sets too. So these are stir on. And I'm not going to sow them all. There were so many, but I'm going to put in a full tray. Well, there's nothing to lose. And my usual experience with onion sets is that they bolt far too early and we don't really get a good crop of onions. That may have something to do with the ground that I grow them in, but anyway, needs must. I'm going to have a go. There we are. I've put a little bit of perlite in there. I don't think onion sets probably need perlite, but as I've been using it, I've been very impressed with how it helps drainage. So I put a little bit in there, not too much, and I'll give that a good soaking so that I don't have to do it when the onions are in. And on the face of it, when you get onion sets like this, you get a right old mix. You get some really thin ones, and that's quite soft, probably not good to use. And you get the odd shriveled one, and then you get some nice bulbous firm ones, and I'm just going to use those because I think they're going to give me the best chance. You've got that basil root there and the little tuft from the stem or the leaves when they come out, and I'm just going to put those in and get them down to about neck height and work my way through finding the best ones in here. That's another nice firm one. Just pushing them in. What, there's 5 in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 45 onions from sets. We'll see. Got to have onions covered now, surely. So they've gone in nicely, and we'll stick those down at the lower level just to make sure the cold keeps off them. Although the forecast is wet and windy for a few days ahead, so that'll be different. And the other day I put this block of coir in here with about 3 inches of water, and it's just, well, quadrupled in size, and it's really nice and crumbly now, and that's a bit of a project for a future video. Stay tuned. Well, temperatures hit a seasonal low yesterday, or last night. Got down to -4 degrees, which is pretty darn cold, but everything in here survived nicely, and these cloches with additional fleece on top seem to be doing the trick. So I'll just keep up that strategy, and hopefully we'll get into the warm weather. Well, I want to get these paths ready for the season, and I want to drag across this compost that I've put in strategic places. But first of all, I have to take out these parsnips. Now, if you watched my video a few weeks back, we tested these parsnips just to see if they were still tender enough to eat. This growth on the top is a sure sign that the goodness is coming out of the root and being put into the leaf growth. And I think on balance they were fine, but I need to get them out pretty quick. Exactly the same goes for these celeriac and also the Swede next door. These celeriac are quite small. There's 1 or 2 decent ones, but we're going to have them all out, and we're going to have a really big batch of stew and soup making. So nothing will go to waste. That's the main thing. And then the ground is freed up, ready for me to start preparing it for planting, which won't be too long now. As long as these temperatures lift, another few weeks, I think. But we're getting there slowly but surely. So off with this net and out with the celeriac. Well, a lot of people have shown enthusiasm to grow celeriac this year, so just be careful that you space them out wide enough. So those were about 6-7 inches apart, and to be honest, I've got some that are acceptable, that sort of size, and some that are not. By the time you've cut out the natural root system on one of these celeriacs and taken the top off, there isn't a great deal left on a small celeriac. That's about the minimum that you can go to, and ideally quite a bit larger than that. And of course you get that by spacing them out. And those that I spaced out in my other bed were a fantastic success, and they were about 12 inches apart. So give that some thought if you're growing them. Well, that's all the crops out of the land apart from the purple sprouting broccoli, which is just starting to sprout. So now I'm going to spread the rest of the compost over the beds, and that'll leave me nothing more to do than cover it up and wait for some warm weather, I will be able to get on with my paths. This is when I'm so appreciative of the no dig method. Those 3 beds literally took me 10 minutes and they're pretty much prepared for the next season. Just that spread of compost on top. There was almost no weeds at all in any of the beds and we're ready to go. Well, it's quite nice and sunny, so I'm going to sit here and do a bit of pre-preparation rather than take all that soil and root back to the kitchen. I'm going to work my way through here and get them a little bit more prepared. I got some water and the good stuff will go in there for a bit of a wash. So let's go. First batch of swede and parsnip ready for cooking. A big batch of spicy parsnip soup and swede ready for stew. Another batch prepared, this time the base for corned beef stew. Delicious. And some spicy parsnip soup on the way. First batch ready to go in the freezer. And there's some beautiful parsnip soup and some mashed swede ready to roll. Well, it took us 2 days and this is the next day's batch. So 4 pots of corned beef stew and 3 more bags of spicy parsnip. I do hope you enjoyed the video today. If you did, click the subscribe button, click the like button, and if you want updates from me each time I upload a video, click the bell and select all. I do hope you have a great day. Diolch yn fawr.